repeat after me.
Oh, is that what you do?
I knew he'd be the first blogger.
I know.
So, my name is Bethany, and I have the good fortune and pleasure and luck to be serving here at First Presbyterian. And I know that I've already told this story, but I'm going to give the short version because I think it's very important that you know. I am not a ukulele player. I thought I had made that very clear. But then when people kept signing up, I'm thinking, did I not mention? So let me just say that this was all born out of necessity. This past year, my full-time position is at Stuart Cramer High School. I teach choral music. I did start when I went to Mount Holly Junior High at the time. I started in the band, actually. I was a clarinet player, but my love, the love of my life was basketball. And when you went to high school, you could not play band and play basketball. So I was like, oh, peace out, I'm in chorus. So I was in the chorus and I played basketball. But I've been teaching for about 15, 16 years. And this was the first year that we were not allowed to sing for obvious reasons. And it really sent myself and my colleagues into a tailspin. And I could not tell you what I taught in the fall. I don't remember. It is totally black to me. It was just hanging on for dear life. And it was so bad right after Thanksgiving that I said, I got to do something else. So I went to my band teacher, a very good friend and colleague of mine, and I said, we got to do something else. He'd already given up. I'm not throwing him under the bus, but what a lot of teachers did, because we had to create lessons online, is that when the kids did come to school, a lot of teachers just give them the Chromebook, right? So they're online the whole time, and I promised my students they would not crack open a Chromebook, not one time in my class. Now, I don't know what I did or what we did other than, I know we did a rapping unit, because that's not singing, we did some rapping. And we had, I don't remember, we tasted all the different, we had a discussion of what? They did not realize that you have skim milk, 1%, 2%. We did a whole lesson on that. Had nothing to do with music, so I don't. Listen, it was black, but I did some research and I went to my band teacher and I said, listen, I know this sounds crazy, but I think ukuleles are the answer. And he said, absolutely not, no way. And I said, no, listen, it took me a week. And he said, he started to come around to it and he said, okay, how much are they? And I said, $4,000. And he said, I said, but all we have to do is just, so we scraped up, he could get about 1,000, I had about 1,000. Went to my principal. I've been there 8 years since Stuart Cramer opened. We've never asked her for a penny and said, please, please, Ms. Devine, will you foot the rest of this bill? This is our only chance. I was crying in the meeting, and I'm not even a crier. She said, I said, this is it. This is the only thing that will save the program. And she said, I'll get back with you. And she called us the next day and she said that she'd buy all of it. We didn't even have to put in our $1,000 each.
Right.
So then I started crying again. And so then I bought one on Amazon over Christmas break. I got it. And then I started crying because I was like, what have I done? I had to teach myself how to play. I'd never even touched a ukulele, much less anything else. And this is me over Christmas break. It was me and my parents, and that was it. And they were so tired. They were happy when I left. But we got rolling in January and the beginning of February, and my kids came to life. They were dead. I was dead in the fall, and this little instrument just brought us all back together, and we had the best time ever. And it was slow. It was easy. They didn't know anything, but they were so willing and hungry just for something to do. And about February, I started thinking, you know what, we should do this at the church. And then I'm like, no, that's dumb. And I'm like, no, we should do this at the church. I kept arguing with myself, and after a couple weeks, I found, well, let me see what Lauren says. So I called Lauren. She always got an opinion. So, no, I mean, and I do too. So I call her, I said, okay, I got this crazy idea. It's very COVID safe, because at that point we still didn't know how long this was going to last. And so I said, how about we just do a ukulele unit? And she didn't say anything, and I thought, oh God. So I kept talking, like trying to explain this vision that I didn't even know what it was. And finally, she said, I think this is the Holy Spirit. And I said, no. No, not the Holy Spirit. But she explained that at the time the PNC had narrowed it all down to their top candidates, and one of the top candidates was a ukulele player. I said, oh, that might be the Holy Spirit. So we did not discuss it again. I didn't ask. I wasn't privy to any of that information. Didn't want to be. And then in April, when the PNC announced our new senior minister, I immediately went to Lauren after the service and I said, don't tell me this is the ukulele player. And she said, it is. I was like, get out. Okay, here we go. Many logistics later. I know, doesn't that give you chills though?
Yeah.
I mean, so here I am saying to you, I don't know, but about 10 hours more than you do on the ukulele. Based on the form that I sent out, I think probably 95% of the room you said I'd never played the ukulele. But interestingly enough, many of you said, I've had this ukulele for 10 years, I've never played it. So, anyway, so those of you that have a ukulele, that's great. And if not, we have these. So these are from Stuart Kramer, thanks to my wonderful principal who just retired. So not only did we get a new senior minister boss, I'm next week getting a new principal boss too. So anyways, so we got those, her going out the door. But I just want to say thank you for being here, and I hope this goes well. I don't know. I have just a little bit to say at the very beginning, and then I did, if you weren't here this morning, wanted to introduce Reverend Comfort and have a moment for him to talk to you. But I will say this, y'all, he really is a ukulele player. And really, this is for people who don't know how to play ukulele. Because I don't really know how to play ukulele. So we're just all going to work together. And if you are in the upper echelons of ukulele playing, then you can give me some tips and tricks afterward. And I promise I'm a good listener. But I did just want to remind you, you don't have to read this, I'm going to read it to you. But it says, make a joyful noise to the Lord, right? Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Parentheses are mine, and ukulele playing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us, not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise, and ukuleles. And be thankful unto him and bless his name. For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth into all generations. Name the context. What book of the Bible did this come from? No, you're not allowed to answer. Psalm. Do you remember?
100.
Psalm 100.
Yep.
Yes. Now, let's analyze this just slightly. I want to reiterate, it's make a joyful noise. So I got a little curious, total nerd. I looked up the word noise. It's a noun. And I want to read, it says, these are just a couple I found. A sound, especially one that is loud or unpleasant, or that causes disturbance. Making a noise like a pig in a trough. A series or combination of loud, confused sounds, especially when causing a disturbance. And then lastly, random fluctuations that obscure or do not contain meaningful data or other information. It's kind of like my grandmother listening to music when I was a teenager. She was like, what is that noise? What is that? Grandma, Mimi, this is the best music. So I'm asking you to be patient. Adults on the whole we're not patient people, right? But to learn a new skill, to give it some time, we have to be patient. There's going to be a lot of noise here. But I think he just asked for a joyful noise. Not a good one, not a great one, not a in tune one, just a joyful one, right? So with that said, no, this morning I woke up and I prayed for this group. I don't know why you're here, and I don't know why I'm here either, but let's bow our heads and pray together. Dear Heavenly Father God, thank you so much for the gift of music. Thank you for nudging us here tonight. Thank you for the opportunity to gather and make some joyful noises. We bring our time and our talents to you. Bless the words that we say and speak to each other and the music that comes out of these instruments, and let them be for your glory and your purpose in our personal lives and in our church life. God, we just thank you for this opportunity. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. You are on. Reverend Comerford is on. Now, as he gets ready, I'm going to tell you, the reason why I didn't give the ukuleles out at the beginning is if I did that, you wouldn't listen to anything I have to say. So you will get one. It's just we have a little intro. So.
Thank you, Bethany. By the way, I'm Dan. I'm the new pastor here. So some of y'all may have been here this morning. But now, after hearing this story, Betty, you're the only member of the PNC who I think is here.
No, Dick is here.
Dick? Oh, I didn't see y'all back there. Can you all want me here longer than the ukulele workshop, right? Because I don't want, when this whole thing is over, I don't want a pink slip or anything like that. Okay. I am so happy to be here as your pastor, and I do just want to say I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you. And that is why I think God brought us together. But I do, in this capacity, just want to talk to you about this thing which has brought so much joy to my life. And I'm just going to give a really quick blurb on how joyful of a noise you can make with this thing. And I'm just going to share my story. So I love music. My first love of music, though, is the drums. I've been a drummer my entire life. Played on all different sorts of levels here and there. I think like a drummer. And something happened in my life. I played the drums all my life, and then I had a daughter. And I realized that, one, it's hard to be in a band when your child is getting up all throughout the night needing help, and you're always tired and busy. And two, it's really hard to play the drums at home when you have a baby. And so I started to talk to my wife, Rachel, here. I needed something. I needed some other creative outlet in my life other than preaching. Which, by the way, Psalm 100, I could preach on that, maybe. But in any case, so I said to Rachel, why don't I take up the guitar? So I got an acoustic guitar, and I started playing it. And it just didn't connect with me like I thought it would. And I was clanging, I was making, I don't think it was a joyful noise, it was some kind of noise, and it just wasn't hitting. And then I kind of plateaued as I learned. And finally, Rachel said to me, hey Dan, why don't you try playing the ukulele? Which I think was her way of saying, I am sick of hearing you playing away at that acoustic guitar. And so I'm like, well, okay, I'll give it a shot. And so I bought a ukulele, and I fell in love with it right away. And there is something that is really special about this instrument. It's a very intimate instrument. There's something about playing with your hands, putting your fingers on the fretboard here. It's really special. And I realized that when I told the congregation that I love the ukulele, y'all probably pictured me in a luau shirt playing luau's. I don't do any of that. I like the same music that most of you all do. The ukulele is an instrument that is very broad. It can be played in almost any genre. Dave Matthews from Dave Matthews Band just ordered a couple ukuleles. He's going to be playing that on tour this year. So I just want to encourage you as you start this. Number one, the ukulele is a fun instrument. The ukulele community is a non-judgmental space, so don't feel embarrassed. And I mean that. It really is. It's a fun place, so don't feel embarrassed if you don't feel like you're as far along as what you need to be. Just have fun with it. And then if you really fall in love with it half as much as I do, there's so many different ways that you can apply it. So with that, I'll hand it over to Bethany, but I have a question for you. I was worshiping with y'all virtually on July 10th when you guys were worshiping outdoors. Bethany, what were you playing on that worship service for one of those songs?
The ukulele.
Oh. Well, you look like a ukulele player to me.
They said, oh, we need another mic, and I said, no, we don't.
But by the end of this workshop, I think all of you are going to be ukulele players too. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we're going to dive in. You're not getting your ukulele. I was just going to also follow up with the word noise. Its origin is Latin and comes from the word nausea. So if you feel nauseated, there's a restroom back here. But we want you to, I know the message this morning, go, go. But no, we want you to come and stay and be here. So we're going to start with repeat after me. I teach high school, and I'm going to roll with what I know and what I think is good. So just repeat after me. And so you're going to have approximately 5 to 10 seconds to talk to your neighbor kind of loudly. But when I do that, you do it back, and it means we got to go on to something else. So ready, go.
Are you ready? I'm good.
So the same thing that happens with teenagers. When you tell them to talk, they don't talk. But when you tell them not to talk, then they talk. It would probably be a good idea to maybe turn around and introduce yourself to someone you haven't seen in a while or someone you don't know. 10 seconds, ready, go. Me first. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Great. All right. So here are the logistics. We are going to start at 6:30, and I do want to be a good steward of your time, but I am going to be here early and open the doors at 6. So if you want to just come and you have questions, or you just want to play, or maybe you and your buddy want to jam, come on down at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. We are trying, we're videoing these lessons. We know it's the dead middle of summer and many of you are going on vacations. So we're going to video these and send them out in case you have to miss one. And we'll do our best there. There is a binder on your stand that is yours to keep forever. There's nothing in it currently. If I put something in it, you'd be looking through it. So, but that is yours. I would say, I know that before Wednesday there's nothing in here, but it would probably be best to take it with you at every time and bring it back. Simply because we never know what we're going to need this space for, and Rodney, so take it with you, it is yours, but do bring it back because we're going to put stuff in it. The music stand and the chair, they're not assigned seats, it's just whoever gets here first, that kind of thing. So. And then attendance. So starting on Wednesday, I'm just going to put it right here. I'm not taking attendance to take attendance, like school, take attendance. I never take attendance. We're just doing that so that I can, maybe I need to make sure these people get the video lesson. So, and make sure you get any handouts or that kind of thing. So do attendance sign in. And then tonight, when I do give you the ukulele, I'm just asking, we're not doing an official form or contract because these are the property of Stuart Cramer High School, Gaston County Schools. But I'm just asking you to leave your signature of responsibility that you're going to take care of the instrument. These are instruments, these are not toys. It would be very easy for you to go to Target or Walmart and pick up a ukulele for 15 or 20 bucks. But that's a toy. These are instruments and they cost a lot of money. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't remember the last time any music teacher got $4,000 for anything, ever. And we certainly don't have the money to replace them. That said, accidents do happen, and that's okay. But we are going to ask if you lose it or something, you will have to replace it. So they're about $75 for the kit. But you are welcome to take it home. You're welcome to bring it back and forth. I think you can leave it here if you want to. That would be fine too. But also no, please, if you take it with you, do not leave it in your car. Because it is, again, the dead middle of July. So I'm going to ask you to take the box as well. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. We want to keep everything together all in one. There are bags in there, but again, if you put it in your car and then you're throwing your purse in your car, the bag is not going to protect it very well. So And then lastly, please return the instrument. We need these back. I really, really hope that I don't have to teach ukulele this fall. I'd really like to get back to singing, but for obvious reasons, we've got to have them back. So, just so you know, there are actually 4 sizes of ukuleles, and you probably read this on the flyer, but so if you think about it kind of like a choir, we have soprano, altos, tenors, and basses. And so ukuleles, there's a soprano, they're the smallest ones, concert, and the next size up, tenors, and then baritones. Baritones are strung, they also have 4 strings, but they're different. They're different pitches, which is why, and different fingering. So if you brought a baritone, or it just won't work. It will not work. But they're the kind of the largest of the ukulele family. There are ukulele ensembles. I don't know where this is going to go, but just saying, maybe.
One word, worship.
Worship.
So, what we have over here, when I was choosing them, my colleague Cameron and I, we did not want to get sopranos because they are so small. And the kids, we were afraid they would treat them like toys. And but there's nothing wrong with the soprano. So these are actually concerts, concert size over here. The one I own this is just an Amazon. I didn't want to spend a ton of money. This is not like a reputable brand, but this is a tenor size. And when we take the concerts out, you'll see it's just a little bit smaller, obviously, than the tenor. What do you have?
This is a tenor.
You have a tenor, okay. And so the difference is kind of like a mellowness in the sound, just a timbre, but the fingerings are the same, the chords are the same, and everything's the same. So you're good either way. There are some cases in which you will, and we're going to tune the instruments, but if you're not sure if it's like a toy or an instrument, a lot of times strings won't stay in tune. And that's okay. So if you have a ukulele and it doesn't stay in tune, I think we have plenty enough, and you're welcome to take a concert or one of these as well. So there's that. Now, brief introduction and history of the ukulele, and this is not me giving it to you. It's 2 minutes. 2 minutes, if it comes up. All right, here we go. Fun fact that I learned.
Hi, this is Pete Spoth with Modulation Music Lessons, and today we're going to discuss one of the...
Is that loud enough? I will turn it up. But if you go up here and put a dash here, now we can watch ad-free.
Hi, this is Pete Spoth with Modulation Music Lessons, and today we're going to discuss one of my favorite instruments, the ukulele. The story of the ukulele starts in 1879, when a ship called the SS Ravenscraig sailed from Portugal to Hawaii to transport workers to sugar plantations. Among the passengers were Manuel Nunes, Augusto Diaz, and Jose de Espirito Santo, who brought with them a Portuguese instrument called the cavaquinho, which was very similar to the modern ukulele. When the Ravenscraig landed, the native Hawaiians were dazzled by this new instrument. They gave it the name ukulele, which roughly translates to jumping flea, because they thought the players' fingers looked like fleas jumping across the fretboard. Over the next few years, the ukulele exploded in popularity. This was partly due to the efforts of King Kalakaua, Hawaii's last reigning monarch, who used the instrument to promote interest in native Hawaiian culture in the face of increasing influence from overseas. He frequently incorporated the instrument into formal royal functions and encouraged its use in traditional Hawaiian music and dance. The ukulele finally found its way to America in 1915, when it was used during performances at the Panama Pacific International Expo in San Francisco. This caused a sensation that quickly spread all across America. It wasn't long before the ukulele reached New York City, where it became a staple in vaudeville performances and launched a craze for Hawaiian-themed songs among Tin Pan Alley songwriters. The ukulele's popularity continued to grow throughout the next few decades, as more and more popular artists featured the instrument in their music. Unfortunately, starting in the 1960s, the ukulele began to fade into the background. In the 1990s, however, the ukulele experienced a resurgence that continues to this day. The success of Israel Kamakawiwole's covers of Over the Rainbow and What a Wonderful World, along with viral videos of artists like Jake Shimabukuro, have helped to bring the ukulele back into the mainstream.
Okay, there you go, crash course.
So that's the story of how the ukulele went from being a relatively unknown instrument to a cultural phenomenon. Again, I'm Pete Spoth.
All right, so just to see if you were paying attention, where did it come from?
Portugal.
And then it went where?
Hawaii.
Then where?
San Francisco.
In what year?
1950.
You're good. They might actually pay attention to you.
The teachers that were repeating that.
That's
back
right.
to you.
That's right. So obviously a decline in the 1960s because no, probably the rise of rock and roll, right? Plug our instruments in, and now we're kind of the pendulum is switching to back or shifting back to let's unplugged, please. More acoustic. So repeat after me: 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Promise it's important. All right, so really, really important as we learn together the ukulele, the anatomy. There's not that many parts, But if you want to think, let's think broad. You've got 3 parts, broad. So this would be the head or headstock. So head, this was what we say head. And then we've got the neck, just like we do in the body. So that's head, neck, body. Very important when we talk about where we're going to put our hands and these kinds of things. If we want to get a little bit more specific, and we need to, so these are tuning heads or tuning pins, pegs, and you'll notice on these ukuleles they stick out this way. It's totally fine. Yours may go back or off to the side, and we turn these to get to the right starting pitch. As we go down, this is called the nut. That's real fun when you're a high school teacher. About this piece. I'm so sorry. But so the nut is what keeps the strings up and off the fretboard. Okay, so headstock, the nut keeps it together with the neck, and we've got the neck. Now on the neck, this is also called a fretboard. So we've got these fret wires, if you will, going horizontally across. So strings vertically, and these are horizontal. And so what it's doing, if you'll think of it kind of like a graph, is we're just sectioning off different places of the fretboard or the neck. Now that's going to be important because sometimes we're going to want to put our hands in fret 1, which is obviously the top one. And I say in fret 1, and that's the language I started to use because my students, when we were learning, they would put their fingers on that horizontal piece, and that's not what we want to do. We want to put our fingers just above so that what it does is it closes off that sound to make a different pitch. So in between, if you will, is where we're going to put our fingers. Then you'll notice also mine has stars and a whale. How fancy. But these are fret markers. That's because there's so many. And when you get advanced, I wouldn't know anything about this because I was just stayed up here. But it's a visual cue to where you can move your fingers to a lower fret faster. So they're always in, to my knowledge, 5, 7, 10, and 12. 5, 7, 10, and 12. You can check them. I think it's 5, 7, 10, and 12. And that's it. So as we move down to the body, sound hole. It's where the sound comes out. Okay. And then this bottom part, I say big piece and small piece. Because what does the word big start with? B, and this is a bridge. B. Big piece is the bridge. Small piece, what does small piece start with? S, and that's what we call saddle.
Okay.
You don't have to memorize, you're not, no test later, no quiz, okay? So, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So simple, but it's just important that we know this. If I'd have given you this ukulele ahead of me telling you this, you would have heard nothing I just said. So, thank you. And I do have this for you today to put in that binder so that you can take it home and look at it with your ukulele, okay? So, in the box, there is a carrier bag with a numbered tag. We just, for inventory purposes. This is a concert-sized Cordoba ukulele. There are good brands and there are bad brands. This is a bad brand, but I wasn't willing to spend any more at the time. This is a good brand. Cordoba, Kala, I'm sure there are more, but these are just two of the big brands that were recommended. And so this is a quality instrument. In the box should be a tuner. A tuner looks like this. If there's not, I found two, so there might be two without. It's okay, we'll get you one. But this is a tuner. The tuner just clips on the head, and it should probably just stay there. It should just stay there. And there's that. If the tuner, when you press this button, it'll turn on. If it doesn't turn on, the batteries are out, and I have new batteries for all of them. So you can take a battery with you. And we're going to learn how to tune. Then there might be, maybe, extra strings in the box. If there's not, don't worry. It just means some student lost them. And then you might find a pick, but you might not. The ukuleles are traditionally played without a pick. We started in the traditional way, and that's how we're going to start tonight. I had to switch to a pick because I was playing ukulele three 90-minute class periods a day, and I couldn't. I switched to a pick. But there is a traditional way, and I did bring picks, but I don't want to pass them out until Wednesday, so we'll just all be on the same page tonight. So that's what's in the box. So all this to say, I know you're tired of hearing this, but any instrument you ever play, you want to make sure your hands are clean and that kind of thing. These have been sanitized, and they're ready for you, but obviously you wouldn't sit at dinner and play. You might. Please don't. Make sure your hands are clean. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pass them out. We're going to start over here on the left and just make a line coming down. And I just have the signature sheet. I'm just going to write down what number you have. And then you can bring it back to your seat, open the box carefully, and you can take out the bag and just leave everything under your chair. And you can go ahead and take a look at the ukulele and start familiarizing yourself with it. Also a good opportunity for a restroom break if that's what you need. This has the potential to be really, really slow, but let's be really, really fast. You're quick. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so we made a mess. That's okay. So in your box should be a bag and the ukulele and the tuner. That's really all that's most important at the time. So you can just put the rest like under your chair or beside you or anything. And then we're just going to review a little bit. We've got the head or the headstock and the neck, fretboard, and then the body with the sound hole. Your strings are terribly out of tune. That is not your fault. But I want you to just, what you're going to do is, now I'm left-handed. Actually, I dribble right-handed, but I shoot left-handed. I write left-handed. It's a long story. I can't. It's okay if you're left-handed. All that means is that it's going to be easier for you to do the chords. And people that are right-handed, the strumming's going to come a little bit more natural. But, and that's okay. But what you're going to do is you're going to hold the neck or the fretboard in your left hand, and I just say the squishy part of your hand. It's going to go up near the nut again. You're good. Just saying. And you're just going. You can just put your thumb here, and then as you're seated, you're going to put it on your body, the body on your body, and then kind of over your right arm over, and your forearm on the bottom. Now, I'm saying this to you because you want to be comfortable. There's no posture like in chorus or band or anything like that because that's just not the nature of the instrument. So you would, just be relaxed and hold it this way. I had a lot of students who would just hold it in their lap like this because they're lazy. So this is it. So I just want you to, don't turn these yet. If you don't know what you're doing, please don't turn these yet. But just check each string and make sure they're like attached. Because if they're not, you're not going to get very far. Not too bad, Addison. Yes. You need a tuner? I have 3 extra. Okay. We'll make sure you get one in that box. So here's what I'm going to tell you. We're about to do probably the hardest part of learning play the ukulele, which is learning how to tune it. It is not hard, but you do have to just pay attention. You cannot play this instrument without tuning it. It is the first and foremost thing that you're going to want to do. Even if you sit down and play for 20 or 30 minutes, these instruments are so new that the strings are still stretching out. So you sometimes have to just stop after 20 minutes and retune because they stretch and it'll go out of tune. So we're going to learn how to tune the ukulele. And it is okay that these tuners have made it very easy. So if you're looking at the head or headstock, these tuning pegs are obviously attached to strings and they have a name. Okay, so this bottom left, that's the G string. Again, you can imagine that I have a lot of fun, but this is the G string. I'm so sorry. My new boss is there. But anyway, the top left, C string, top right, E string, and then bottom right is A string. Now, I want you to look at this and then know that when you're tuning, you're going to be looking at it like this. So you know, it's a little, you're going to have to think about this. So C is actually going to be farthest away. So the G string is closest to you.
Yeah.
That's just that you're going to remember that because it's inappropriate. But so when your ukulele is in the G string is the top string, it is closest to your face. So sorry, but you'll remember, okay? And that is the tuning pin or knob that's closest. Then we've got C, and then of course A and E. Now this is why I tell my students, don't guess. What you're going to want to do is when we tune, we go in order, which is the G string first, closest to your face, and then the C string, then the E string, then the A. You don't have to memorize this at all. All you have to do is start here at the top G string and just follow it all the way up. Where does it twist around? And that's what you're going to turn. Don't turn it. But that's what you're going to turn. So here's how this works. Don't do it. Hands down. Hands down. Here's how this works. The tuner will turn on, and this is mine. You can't see it because it's so far away. At the very, very bottom of the tuner, I'm going to take a look at these. The very bottom, there is some very small letters that are like the kind when you go to the eye doctor and they say, read this line, and you laugh and say, I can't see these. This one needs a battery. But what you're going to want to do is toggle over to the U, and you just do that by you just press the button until it gets to the U. Now, once your tuner gets to the U, and it's on, mine says UC, but that's okay, U. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you, I'm going to play the G string, and you'll notice it just says G, so that means we're close, but it's not green. So as I turn, now you can't play, people.
I was going to say, don't play.
Okay.
I hadn't even turned mine on
As
yet.
I turn, and I'm going to turn away from my face,
There it
it
is.
lit green, and guess what?
It's ready.
It's ready. I'm done with the G string.
Okay.
So now, I'm just going to check it again. It's flashing green. Okay, so now next string down, I'm going to follow it all the way up. Here it is. And this should be a C. So, it's already
ready.
flashed green.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and you'll see a dial kind of go this way and this way. If the dial is going to the left, you're going to want to turn the C away from your face. If it's going to the right, you just turn it back, but you turn it ever so slowly one way or another. Once you learn which way to turn it, it's easy. But at first you're like, I don't know which way to turn. It's okay, we'll learn. Now, then the next one is E, the E string. Notice mine is not turning green. So I'm going to follow it all the way up. Here it is. And I'm just going to slightly turn. And notice how I keep plucking it as I turn, because when it turns green, then you're good. And I'm just checking it again. Now I'm going to go to the A, and that's obviously not in tune because it's not green. There we go. It's kind of flashing green. Your tuner will flash you. It will not flash red, meaning if you're going the wrong direction, like if you don't even have a G, a C, an E, or an A, you're in no man's land. We got to get you back in the right area. So this is the hardest part. The other thing about it is we're kind of close. So you want to, your ukulele, it might pick up your neighbor, probably not, but you have to be, you won't break it. You know, I have some girls who are like, honey, what are you, no, you need to, and they'll be, okay. No, just really give it some gas. They're like, oh, I can't. Okay, but anyways, so, I don't know. This is it. This is not hard. If you need to help your neighbor, if you're flashing all green, your job is to help your neighbor. Ready, go. Make a joyful noise.
Use that to watch that needle and make sure you're getting to the way.
All right, here's what we're going to do. You're going to hold it against your body and then in your left hand, and we're on the count of 3. We're going to pluck our G string only. It's real fun, y'all. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're not quite in tune. Can you hear how it's like?
Yeah, I heard.
So make sure you're only plucking just that G string. And also at the same, you're going to want to make sure you're flashing green on that G string. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. That's a little better. Check, check. Go ahead, check your. Check it one more time. Check it on your own. On your own, check it. It's green. You got the green light. All right, let's do our G, and we go 1, 2, 3. Okay, much better. Much better. Nice. Let's go to the next string down. So that would be a C string. Count of 3. Just that. Now. Okay. Some of you are still like this, plucking. You're going to want to hold it like this. And C string. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to have to check the C string. Go ahead and check. Got a flash green there on the C string. You do not get to laugh, audience. Yep, check that C string. Make sure you're only plucking that one string to get it to tune. That already sounds better. Okay, C string, count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. Much better. Some of you are light green, but that's okay. E string, next string down, E on 3. 1, 2, 3. That's one of the hardest. It's the third of, anyway, check your E string. Personal E time. You just kind of have to learn where is my. So yours is A. See, and I think you're going wrong. I think you're going to well, it's picking up. Now it's going lower, yes. You're going to have to go the other way. Yeah, we're actually going to have to pass D. Okay, okay, let's try E again together. I promise this is the hardest part, I promise. E, 1, 2, 3. No, I can't move on. Check your neighbors. If you're green, help your neighbor. Help your neighbor.
I'm not.
Okay, you're way. Okay, play. Well, the longer it stays green, the more in tune it is.
Okay. I couldn't get past C.
That's okay.
I need to go time.
Yeah, you got
Okay,
it.
then that's
Now the last one's A.
And if it's one, I go this way, that way.
Well, it just depends. Yeah, it depends. You kind of gotta learn it.
After a year, I couldn't hear good enough.
Yeah, there you go. Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. You're doing it right. You're doing it right. Yep. Almost. There you go. Almost. Yeah.
There.
Looking the wrong string.
I have it. Got it.
You want me to help you?
One string up.
It's gotta be it.
That's it. That's what you were trying to do. You were turning this.
I don't see what difference. I know what you're saying.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to the E. Just make sure it's just the E at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Much better. Can you hear how it's not like right? Okay. And then the last string is the A string. And the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Cool. We're gonna go back to the G string all together. G. So that's the closest one to your face. 1, 2, 3.
That's better.
Stop playing. No, I'm kidding. Next string down is C. So at the same time, you're looking for that green. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that sounds pretty good. That's pretty good. And then the E string down. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh, that's even better. And then the A string. 1, 2, 3. All right. You're gonna take your thumb and you're just gonna strum all of them. No, when I say go, just all the way down.
But I win.
Simon says.
When I say go, no, I can. All right, ready and go. Okay, that's good. That's good.
That's now.
Now, don't be afraid to put a little pressure on it. You're not gonna, not too much. You don't want to break you won't break the strings, but a little pressure on it. And then throughout the evening, you just check. Am I still in tune? But if you're in tune, you've got all greens. You can turn the tuner off to preserve the battery. I'm going to give you just a couple minutes. I know some of you are still trying to get green. Some of you have it. And just strum, and you can familiarize yourself with the instrument. Anybody need help? Happy to help. Okay, just a couple more minutes. Get your greens going. Okay, thanks. All right, last time. Here's G. All together. Here's our G. The G string. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Next string down is C. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And be careful. Just get that one string in there. The next string down is E. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1. Okay. And then the last string is the A string. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We'll take it. We'll take it. All right. So we're gonna repeat after me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So when you're looking at it now, we've been doing it several times. We've got G, C, E, A. G on the top, C, E, A. G, C, E, A. Some people make up acronyms for it. I haven't. You could make one up. We could probably make one up.
Good
together.
chickens eat apples.
Good chickens? I don't ask my students to make
Oh, boy.
But anyways, okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to hold with your right forearm, just hold it against your body so you can hold your fingers out like this. Okay, and this is why I've had you repeat this, because our fingers are 1, 2, 3, 4. Say it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I said, let's hold up a number 1, you would do this. That is finger number 1. I would not ask you to hold up finger number 2. But
Thank you.
we go in order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, those are our finger numbers. When you look down, the strings go 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingers are 1, 2, 3, 4. Strings 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna let you wrap your mind around it for a second. Okay? So our fingers are 1, 2, 3, 4, but looking down, the strings are 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? All right. So. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here are the strings. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and I just put this back up here. Okay. So this is for my people that are musicians and read music. This is just for those people. When we put our fingers on G, C, E, and A, depending on where we put them, it changes the pitch. So this is just a chart of if you put your finger, what pitch you're going to get on the frets. I can give that to you later, but I don't want to get into it. It's not necessary today. But here we go. All right, so we're going to play a game. Are you ready? Round 1, I'm going to call out a fret. Now remember, frets are the spaces, for all intents and purposes, the spaces in between the fret wires. Okay, so fret 1 is up here, closest to the nut. Yep, closest to the nut. Then we've got fret 2, 3, 4, 5. Now when you get to 5, you should have a fret marker there, okay? Then we've got 6, and then we've got fret 7. You should have a marker there. And then 8, 9, you should have a marker in 10. Then 11, then, do you have one in 12?
Yeah.
Okay, I do too. And then I actually have one in 15.
We don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Okay, but I think, what do we have, 22?
12, 13.
19, it doesn't matter, we're not even going to play
Different
them.
sizes have different.
Oh, do they? This is why,
18.
yeah.
18.
Yep, 8, doesn't matter, yeah, right now. Okay, here we go. So fret, so what I'm going to say is I'm just going to call out a fret, that's it. You're going to find the fret, put finger 1 in over the whole fretboard, and you're just going to stand. Are you ready?
Ready.
Fret 1.
Oh.
Okay, you can have a seat. You ready? Yeah, you're going to burn some calories. Fret 2. Right? Fret 2. Okay, have a seat. Great. Fret 5. Now that one should have been easy. Why?
Had a bar.
Yeah. Oh, see,
But I
oh,
didn't.
good. Okay, have a seat. Fret 7.
7.
Also easy because,
Five.
yeah. Okay, have a seat. Round 2. I'm going to call out a fret. Oh, I know what I did here. Okay, don't read that. I'm going to call out a fret and a finger. A finger and a fret and a finger, but let's go finger first, then fret. So finger number, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a fret. So if I say finger 1, fret 1.
Right there.
Okay, you got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Ready? Finger 2, fret 2. Great, have a seat. Finger 4, fret 5. Okay, have a seat. Finger 3, fret 7. Okay. You have a seat. Finger 1, fret 1. Easy. Okay, how do you feel? How do you feel? I promise this is going somewhere. Okay, have a seat. Okay. All right, round 3. Here we go. I'm going to call out a finger, a fret, and a string. Whoa, whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finger, fret,
2, 1.
and then string. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right.
1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4. 4,
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Okay, you ready? Don't stand. This is just for
Oh,
fun.
okay.
Okay, you ready? Finger 1, fret 1, string 1. Nope, people don't play. Oh, play. All right, you ready? Finger 1, fret 1, string 1. Now remember, it's 4, 3, 2, 1. So listen to this pitch. This, I'm going to take finger 1, fret 1, and I'm going to push it down right above that horizontal wire, and this is what the pitch should sound like. Good for you! Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's play again. All right. Finger 2.
Same to you.
Fret 2. String 4. No play. This is what it should sound like. You're going to hold it down here and pluck here. Yep. So finger 2, fret 2,
Oh, okay.
string 4. So you're going to hold it down here and then pluck here. Okay, all right, let's play again. Finger 3. Mine is so naked. Finger 3, fret 3, string 1. Don't play. Finger 3, fret 3, string 1. Should sound like this. That's good. That's good. Okay, now let's do finger 4, fret 4, string 3. Should sound like this. I'm going to say that again. Finger 4, fret 4, string 3. Should sound like, oh.
Yeah, that was
Oh, I almost played the wrong one. String 3. Should sound like this. And not quite in tune, but yeah, that's it. That's it. All right, now what we're going to do, same thing, but when we strum, instead of strumming that very string, we're going to strum the whole, all the strings. So we call this, when you don't have any fingers down anywhere, we just call that open strings. Right? This is open. This time we're going to do finger 3, fret 3, string 1. Should sound like this when we strum. And that is C major. So this is our first chord, y'all. It is a 1-finger chord because we just used 1 finger. So finger 3, fret 3, string 1. This is C major. Row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. You just played your first song. An hour and 15 minutes, y'all. Okay, but we talked for 20, so less than an hour. Okay, here we go. Find C major. So finger 3, fret 3, string 1. Okay, and now you don't have to sing. You can hum, but I'd love for you to sing because I know you know this song. But some people, and I think so too, it is hard to sing and strum. Oh my word. Happy to help though. Here we go. Are you ready? And we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Bethany, what do you think of your Holy Spirit now?
I can tell you what the Holy Spirit is telling me. But some of you ain't ready to hear it. I'll save that for later. All right, just because I get excited about these things. We're going to do it one more time. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little bit of vertical space in our mouth when we sing. So, row, is that row? Actually, that would be more fun, wouldn't it? We're going to do it Gaston County style.
Oh,
Here we go. Row, ready? All together? Ready, and row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Good. So all we're doing is you go vertical space. Row, row, just a little bit of vertical space. Okay, still on C major? Feeling good? Okay, here we go. Ready, and row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. And because I'm a total nerd, we just have to try it once. If it fails, it's totally fine. We're going to start this side first. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. And they were ready to go.
We're ready to go.
Yeah. Whoa, y'all did so good. We're going to do it in thirds. So, 1, 2, and then 3. Are you ready? Here we go. Just sing it twice. So, whatever group you're in, you just sing it twice. Here we go. Once. Ready? And row, row. Here we go. 2s. Row, row, row. Here we go. 3s. Gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Again. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Keep strumming. Is that what you had in mind for worship? Okay, how do you feel?
That's good.
We're doing all right? All right, let's go on. So that I tricked you into our first chord, C major, finger 3, fret 3, string 1, C major. Okay, let's go to let's talk about strumming just for a little bit. So the ukulele, you can play. We're doing strumming, which means we're creating chords. We're using all the strings. There is a style, a finger picking style, where you just play one string at a time. I cannot do that. You can do that. I cannot do that. We will not be learning that here. Maybe we'll do an intro on the last day, but so we're just going to stick to strumming. Okay. When you strum, you're going to use your right hand. If you are left-handed, that's probably going to feel a little foreign, but you're going to feel better than the right-handed people up here on the neck than them. When you down strum, you're going to start by using your thumb pressed up against the fretboard a little bit and at kind of the top of the sound hole. You don't want to be underneath it or not even in the middle, but traditionally just right at the top of the sound hole, but not above it, like right at the top of that sound hole. Okay? When you strum down, okay, we're only for C major. What happens is sometimes my kids will strum away, and then we won't even get the last string, which is what makes C major. So you want to make sure you strum all 4 kind of in, I guess, down and in.
Let's go straight down.
A little bit, just a little bit. And then you can also use your thumb and your index finger together to strum, and you're kind of using a fingernail, or a lot traditionally just your index finger. Now, I'll be honest, I was playing so much I was tearing them up, so I ended up switching to a felt pick. But thumb for now, or you can do finger and thumb together. Down strum means obviously down. We'll get to an up strum later, but down strum, you can use these 2 fingers or just your index finger for now.
Or just your
Yeah, you can just use your thumb. Yep. All right, we already did it. Row, row, row your boat. All right, so let's do another chord. Finger 2, fret 2, string 4. Should sound like this, just the 1 string. Okay? If you strum all the way down, this is what we call A minor. Okay? Now, when we are at A minor, you want to make sure that your fingers are curved a little bit. And I want you to take note of where, when you're playing A minor, where is your 3rd finger? It's hovering. It should be hovering the other strings, right?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is, what we want to do is move from A minor to C. So we were just at C major. Okay, it's not that far, and your 3rd finger is already hovering. So if we start at A minor, sounds like this. Please don't play with me. So we go 4, 1, 2, 3, switch, 1, and I switch to, now please take note, when I switch to C major, my A minor finger is still hovering. It's just, we're switching, and then we're pressing we're pressing them down. All right, so let's go back to A minor. So that's going to be finger 2, fret 2, string 4. A minor. Let's play that or strum 4 times. Down strums. Ready? Together. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I love your energy, and you can go that fast. But when I ask you to switch to C, you're going to wish we were going slower. Okay. So here we go. 1, 2, A minor 4 times. 1, 2, 3. Switch to C. 2. Okay, friends. We can get faster. You are not going to like it. Okay, A minor 4 times. So we're back at finger 2, fret 2, string 4, 4 times. Here's our tempo. 1 and 2 and 4 times slow. 1, 2 and 3 and switch. 1, 2 and 3 and switch back. 1, 2, 3 and switch. 1, 2, back to the A minor. A minor, 2, back to the C. Yes, now, seriously, this is what you have to do. I know it's tedious and you're patient, you just play row, row your boat again. But in order, you have to muscle memorize. That's what it is. We teach our hands what to do and where to move. So that's A minor. And switching exercise from C major to A minor. So my students and I, that's what we did. Here we go, C 4 times. Then A minor 4 times. So we're going to do that again, but we're going to start with C this time. Keep in mind, you want to keep kind of like a claw-like. And then for me, I had to talk to some of my students about they were playing flat-wristed, so their wrist was and they had a hard time. So it may or may not help you if you rotate your wrist, like you're going to shake someone's hand, then your fingers, they might curve over the fretboard easier. I have long fingers, but some people don't. So I'm just giving you some ideas. If you can't get your fingers to curl, it might be a wrist thing, not a finger thing. So think about that. So let's start with C. Remember, it's going to be finger 3, fret 3, string 1. All right, here we go. 4 times, and then we're switching to A minor. So your A minor finger is already hovering. 1 and 2, and here we go, C. 1, 2, switch to A minor. 1, 2, back to C. 1, 2, here we go, A minor. 1, 2, and back to the C. C, 2, here we go, A minor. Okay, great. So now we're going to do 2 strums each. 2, C, C, A, C, C, A, instead of 4. Here we go, C, 2 times, then we're going to switch. 1 and 2, and here we go, C. C, switch, A, switch, C, switch, A, switch, C, A, C. Now we're going to go every other. C, A, C, A, C, A. Stop. If your brain is exploding, that's okay. It is okay, and that is exactly what happens. Do not be discouraged, all right? But because I have some goals, I'm going to add another chord. Here we go. So what we're going to do is go to A minor. Find yourself at A minor. You've got finger 2, fret 2, string 4. Are we there? Play the A minor. Now here's what's so easy about F. Your first finger, finger 1, is probably already hovering. Okay, so leave the A minor finger. So leave your second finger there, and all we're going to do is add finger 1, fret 1, string 2. So listen carefully. Finger 1, fret 1, string 2. And remember, they go 4, 3, 2.
Yeah.
So it should sound like this. Now, time out. The C chord had 1 finger. It was finger 3. The A minor chord had 1 finger. It was finger 2. The F chord, you have to have 2 fingers down. Finger 1 and finger 2. So if you find yourself at the A minor again, which is finger 2, fret 2, string 4, that's A minor. In order to get to F, all you do, you keep that and just drop your first finger in fret 1, string 2. Okay? Now watch up here. Easy to practice. So where I'm at the F. So I go F, 2, 3, 4, and then I just lift for A minor. And then I just put it back down for F. Okay? hold your strings. I'm going to play it just so you can hear it. So this is A minor, F, back to A minor, and my second finger staying down the whole time. When you switch to A minor to F.
Just keep it down.
Yep, you just keep it down.
Okay.
All right, let's go A minor, finger 2, fret 2, string 4. 4 times, and then we're going to go to F. Here we go. 1, 2, here we go, A minor. 1, 2, here we go, F. 1, 2, 3, A minor. Back to F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now we can go that fast if you want, but I promise you, you don't, Claude. Now, that's okay. I know, I'm joking. The one thing you want to be careful of is when you're playing F, your finger 1, fret 1, string 3, 2, string 2. You want to make sure that your finger isn't accidentally hitting that string 1 there at the bottom. So it's got to really come up and over for that F. Now, what we call them dead strings. So if you play individually, so listen carefully to this. You can hear the pitch, but if you don't press it hard enough, we call that a dead string. All that means is you just need to put a little pressure on it. So when we play these chords, you just check for dead strings. If it's like, oh, that doesn't sound good, I would check for dead strings. It's probably just the pressure on your fingers. So, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start at C. Then we're going to go to A minor. Then we're gonna go to F. Are you ready? So slow. Are you ready? 4 times starting at C. So finger 3, fret 3, string 1. And we go 1 and 2. I didn't say go. 1 and 2. And here we go, slow. 1, 2, and switch to A minor. 1 and 2. And here we go, F. 1 and 2 and back to C. 1. Good. To the A minor. A, 2, drop for F. 1, 2, 3, back to C. Yeah, that's good, y'all. Can you believe I did this for a whole semester? No, I'm kidding. So now, when you take your ukulele, this is what you want to practice. Can I get it cleanly, and can I get it faster? And maybe not 4, let's do 2. So it'd be C, C, A minor, F, F, C, C. Y'all want to play fast? Let's do it. Here we go. Starting with C. 1 and 2, and here we go, C. C, switch, A minor, switch, F, switch, C, switch, A minor, switch, F, switch, stop. Actually, you did much better than I thought. So then you could do singles. So C, A, F, C. Kafka. That's what we said. C, A, F, C. Now here's what's happening. Some of you are like, oh my God, your brain is exploding. Do not give up. Okay, please do not give up. My mother put me in dance when I was 6, and I was about 6 feet tall then too. And I was the only girl who couldn't do any of the stuff, and it was totally embarrassing, but I did do it for 3 years before my dad was like, she's playing basketball. So we haven't been here very long at all. It takes approximately 10 to 20 hours to get anywhere with any type of hobby or anything, so don't give up. It's okay. It is okay. Go have a glass of wine or a martini. I promise you this thing will start singing, okay? Not some of you, not all of you, not all of you. All right, here we go. We're going to start at C, so 4 times C, A minor, F. 4 times starting with C. 1 and 2, and here we go, C. 1 and 2, and here we go, A minor. 1 and 2, and here we go, F. 1 and 2, and back to the C. Good. Back to A minor. 2. Here we go. F. And 1 strum of C. Yeah, pretty good. Really good. All right, let's move on. Now once you know 4 chords, hundreds of songs. Hundreds of songs. You're like, oh Lord, get me out now. But So we've just done the switching exercise from C to A minor to F. You can make it up yourself. You could do 4, you could do 2s, you could do singles, you could go fast, you could go slow, whatever. You just practice moving back and forth yourself. And I know it's going to happen, but we have to do this today. We're going to go to our first 3-finger chord. Remember this? I know. You'll thank me later. You'll thank me later. So C chord is 1 finger. Stop looking at this. You're already like, The C chord is 1 finger. A minor chord, 1 finger. F chord, 2 fingers. If we could just get this 1 3-finger chord, then we're good, okay? What we're going to do is, you ready? Finger 1, fret 1, string 2. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, say that again. Finger 1, fret 1, string 2. Leave it down. Leave it. Have you ever seen those, like the Instagram? It's like, don't mix it. Okay. No, you haven't. It's okay. All right, leave it. Okay, now, finger 2, fret 2, string 3. Okay? Now, finger 3 is going to share fret 2. You're going to think, oh my God, I'm so proud of it. That's okay. We're going to place finger 3, also in fret 2, on string 1.
Oh, okay, good.
Now, I'm a basketball player, so in my mind, it was like, I'm thinking the 1-2, 1-3-1 defense, or 1-2-2, a 1-2-2 defense. So I'm thinking 1-2. So 1 finger in fret 1, 2 fingers in fret 2. Listen carefully. Your finger pads cannot touch other strings. So listen. This is what the top string sounds like. It's open. Okay? Yeah, don't play. The next string down, string 3, should sound like this. Okay? The next string down should sound like this. And then the last one, together they sound like this. I will let you on your own. Ready, go. Yep, finger 1, fret 1, string 2. Finger 2, fret 2, string 3. Finger 3, fret 2, string 1. Yeah, you got it. You're there. Here's the problem. You got to get there and you got to go somewhere else. And then you got to come back. But this is what we're going to do. I want you to look at, this is what we call a G7 chord. This is G7. Your 3rd finger is already so close to C. All you have to do is pick up your 1st and 2nd finger and slide that 3rd finger down 1 fret, and there you're at C. So, this is what it sounds like. Here's G7, G7, C, G7, C. So just practice moving your fingers in that from G7 to C, not the other ones, just G7 to C. It'll take a hot minute. You can just practice on your own. You got 10 minutes.
What's up with the weird, like, vibrating sound?
We can do it. We can do it. We can do that too. All right, let's go to G7. Finger 1, fret 1, string 2. Finger 2, fret 2, string 3. And then finger 3, fret 2, string 1. Kind of makes you want to cuss a little, but not really, not really. Okay, so we're going to go G7 4 times, and then C 4 times, and then we're going to go, that's all we're going to do. Okay, here we go, G7, 1 and 2, and so slow strum. 1 and 2 and 3, and switch to C. Stop. Let's celebrate that right now. Because when we go back to G7, you're not going to be so happy. Okay, here we go. Now we go G7, C, back to G7. 4 times that slow. Please do not go faster or you'll be mad at yourself. And we go 1 and 2, and ready, and go. 1 and 2 and 3 to the C, and 1 and 2 and back to G7. 1 and 2 and 3 back to C. You're good. That's great. Okay, now,
I don't remember.
running out of time.
That was,
Are you ready?
I don't remember how the fingers are.
What is F again?
Huh? F. Okay, you ready? F is finger 1. No, let's do it this way. F is go to A minor. You remember where A minor is? Okay, leave that finger down, and for F, we just add finger 1, fret 1, string 2. So A minor and F are like siblings or something. They're like right there.
Oh, I know, see.
Yes. Actually, yes, as you leave, I've got them. I've got them all there. Okay. So if you take a look up here, this only has 2 chords, C and G7. Here's what I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to air strum. So I'm gonna play and sing, and so here's what we're looking at, and it's okay. I wonder if we can make this a little different, but that's okay. So we're gonna strum 4 times in this measure, and then 4 here. So that means C and then C. So 8 total. Then you see a G7 here. So that means we have to switch. So listen carefully. So it's C, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. G7 for 8, C for 8. Then how many G7 here? 4. Just 4. Then we do C forever, and then we do G7 again for 8, C for 8, G7 for 4, and then C. So I'd like for you to air strum, just to work on this, just air strum. So that's air guitar, just air strum. Let's start with C. Are you ready? 1 and 2, and here we go, C. 1, 2, and 3. Now you are air strumming, my friends.
That's what I thought you said.
It's silent. I want you to focus on your left hand. All right, here we go. Here we go. 1 and 2, and here we go. C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. G7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to the C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To the G7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. 2, 3, 4 a million times. Let's do it again. Air strum, but I'm going to sing. So then you can follow that way too. We start on C. Are you ready? Okay, ready, and. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Lost my partner, what'll I do? Lost my partner, what'll I do? Skip to my loo, my darling. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Skip to my loo, my darling. How'd you do?
Oh, man. I did
Sound
good on
great.
C.
No, I can't. Okay, so,
good on C.
but you understand when to switch, when we're switching chords. So this time, if you're going to play, you're going to play with me, but I'll still sing, okay? From the beginning. Lost, I had a thought, what was I going to say? Oh, I love singing this song. I never lost a partner, I never had one to begin with. Here we go. Lost my, and it's a little slow, but that's okay. So starting with C, here we go. 1, 2, here we go, C. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Switch. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Switch. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Switch. Skip to my loo. Switch, darling. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Switch. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Switch. Skip, skip, with me. But you don't have to, because I understand it's a lot going on at one time, but we do need to go a little faster. Like, I don't know, lost my partner. It seems like a dirge, but that's okay. Is this too fast? We go, lost my partner. Is that too fast? Did I do it? Well, I'm gonna push you.
Catch up.
Here we go. 1, 2, here we go. C. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Switch. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Switch. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Switch. Skip to my loo, skip. C. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Switch. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Switch. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Switch. Skip to my loo. Switch. That's our second song. That is our second song. All right. Now, just for fun, how do you feel? Can we do it again one more time?
Yeah.
Those of you that were singing or humming, can you sing and hum just a smidge louder?
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I know it says 8:15. It really meant 8:30. I really want to teach you one more thing. Some of you are going to go home and really get into this, and you're going to pull it up, and you're start singing and playing. It's not going to sound good. But that's because you have to make sure this black note right here and this word is lost. This pitch, you have to sing this pitch. Your voice has to be in the same key that you're singing in. So I just happen to know that this is an E. Well, lucky us, there is an E string on the ukulele. G, C, E. So here's E. Here's my first pitch. Lost my part. So that's how we find our starting pitch. I know that's an E. Some of you that don't know like what the names of lines and spaces are, we can that's something easy we can do later, but that's how you know where to start your voice. Sometimes you can just find it, but some people can't. So let's do it one more time. Now, you're going to sing the melody, which is what's written. I'm going to sing the harmony, which is not what's written. But you have to be louder. Are you ready? Lost. This is your starting pitch. You ready? And we go 1, 2. Here we go. Lost my partner. What'll I do? Lost my partner. What'll I do? Lost my partner. What'll I do? Skip to my loo, my darling. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Skip to my loo, my darling. Now, if I were Betty Burrell, I'd be sitting with Charlie on the couch every night trying to make it sound. The Lord just hadn't granted me any harmony in my life. That's okay. So, we did it, and replay. We have no time for that, and here we go. We made it all the way. Whew, I am so impressed. I'm so impressed. You probably won't come back, but I hope you do, because there's so much more after this. But like I said, once we get a couple of chords underneath us and used to moving back and forth, it gets easier and easier and easier. So let's review. We've got the C major chord, finger 3, fret 3, string 1. We've got the A minor chord, finger 2, fret 2, string 4. And then to get to F, we just keep that A minor, but we drop the first finger, first fret, string 2. Remember, strings go 4, 3, 2. Okay? And then the G7. Now, from the F, if we're going F to G7, what's the one finger we can leave alone?
First.
Yeah, the first finger. We just leave that alone and we swing it down. So what we're going to be doing is practicing moving from all these 4 chords, but we can play literally hundreds of songs now. Not right now, but now, right? So, okay, so here we are. I'm happy to help and stay, or you can stay at 8:30. This is what we suggested. You do not have to sanitize. When you turn these back in, we'll sanitize them. This is just what we had for our students. But it won't hurt it, a piece of cloth with a little bit of, well, I'm convinced we had water in those. They said it was disinfectant. We could have drank it for lunch, I'm sure. But this is what I'd like to suggest to those of you that have the Cordobas from the school system. It's, when you put the ukulele in the bag, if you would put the strings underneath the logo, that way you always know in the bag where, you know, that the strings are up, and then put the tuner in the box absolute last. Because that tuner, it will mess up the box. So the tuner, you're gonna wanna take it off, put everything in the bag, put it in the box, and the last thing that goes in the box is this tuner, because it just makes the box hard to close if you don't put this in last. What are your questions? I hope you don't feel like you've wasted your time. Was this fun? Is this too fast?
No.
Okay. Yep, you just need to practice. And so on Wednesday, we'll be back here at 6 o'clock, but we'll start at 6:30. And if you have any questions at all, I'm happy to help you. I probably might not know the answer, but I promise I will look it up. And before you leave, what I'd like to do is close in prayer. So go ahead and pack all the way up, and you just press the.
Hold.
Yep.
Okay, now I think I need a new battery.
Then I've got them over there.
Okay.
And if you need a new battery, I'll give you one. I'll give you one.
Mine kept going.
Any questions? Yes, ma'am. I got it right here. Got it. If you need a battery or a tuner, I've got some right here. Would there anyone be willing to close us in prayer?
I'd be glad.
Thank you, Betty. Thank you.
All right, let's pray. Thank you, Lord, for this day, for this opportunity to be together in such wonderful fellowship. What a wonderful time it is that we can make music together, that we can be together as a church family, and that we can welcome Dan and Rachel and their children to our church family. And God, I just pray that you will bring us back safely next time, and Lord, just be with us as we move through this week. It is in your name that we pray, and all of our blessings, God. We are so very grateful. Amen.
Amen. And those of you that came tonight that we wrote in your name, I just want to get your email address real quick so I can get you on our list. But thank you so much.
Anything for?
Yes, for your binders, I have the anatomy and a chord chart.
Good. That's what I
Is that the raffle block?